The United Welsh Housing Association have been working with officials in the Heads of the Valleys programme on a construction training programme that had 25 trainees on site in July of this year and is delivering NVQ level training. That success rate has been pretty phenomenal, in fact, with an almost non-existent dropout rate. And I understand Tony Whittaker and his colleagues plan to promote this approach with other members of the Integrates Consortium. In August, I was able to announce a number of initiatives at the National Eisteddfod in respect of the Welsh language and regeneration. This includes, for example, a regeneration project on the Clean Peninsula with Wallace George and his Cymdeithas Tairori colleagues, linking housing, job creation and SME support with action to protect the character and culture of local communities. We've also recently agreed to support CHC on a project to help the sector secure convergence funding for social housing organisations in order to support learning, skills and enterprise development, to develop community assets, including local social enterprises, and to help reduce fuel poverty and the carbon footprint of new and existing buildings. We've seen also, I think, a number of impressive outcomes with the transfer of ourselves, including the 2 community mutuals. RCT Homes and their contractors and suppliers have already created over 50 new jobs and identified 120 employment and training opportunities that will become a reality for local people in the next few months. These include the 53 jobs already created directly by RCT Homes, 50 jobs identified by major contractors, local small businesses, including Bouchard and Jones in Treherbert in my own constituency, and Cornelega Heating in Pontypridd, taking on new workers and trainees, suppliers, many of them based within RCT, committed to over 60 jobs and apprenticeships. Bronavon Community Housing has let the first 25 million of contracts for WHQS work to small and medium-sized local businesses, ensuring space for business growth within the region, as well as developing proposals for 3 additional social enterprises in the area. Other opportunities include the creation of 36 new jobs, another 12 to be advertised soon, 12 local training places with SME contractors, leading to permanent jobs in gas, plumbing and general trades, 57 apprentices within Bronavon as a trading agency itself, and another 10 likely to be recruited, and securing jobs for people formerly employed by Remploy and Treforest who would have become redundant. Both RCT Homes and Bronavon clear that they are social enterprises accountable to the local community. They see no contradiction between delivering high-quality improvement programmes as well as local jobs and regeneration. And we expect, as a result of the Essex report, that approach to become increasingly the norm for the sector. Our I2I Inform to Involve project, funded through the Regeneration Department and located within the Housing Directorate, has helped to develop thinking and practice in a number of ways, including promoting the WHQS Plus concept to get maximum gains from housing investment. We've had the Savills report, 2 Savills reports now, covering the 22 local authority areas in Wales, that's mapped that investment from the Welsh Housing Quality Standard and extrapolated the likely number of jobs by trade that will be needed to develop it. We've published the first report on the 12 local authorities in southern parts of Wales earlier this year, and the second report covering the 10 North, Mid and West Wales authorities comes out in October. Next week, Jocelyn Davis and I will be launching the Can Do Toolkit to enable people to hardwire jobs, training and other community benefits into the procurement and delivery of housing investment. That builds on the work already done by Valley Wales. At I2I and our Job Match programme within the Heads of the Valleys are working with colleagues in the Department for Children, Education, Lifelong Learning and Skills to develop a WHQS skills training project to support organisations delivering WHQS. Earlier this week, I was also able to mention a potential major new development. We have a situation currently where the European Investment Bank has commissioned on the Assembly Government's behalf a feasibility study into the possibility of a Jessica scheme in Wales, and that would be a joint private public sector fund, if you like. Now that report is reaching conclusion. I met with the EIB and their consultants last week, and though there's a long way to go, I'm hopeful that that will produce additional funds for regeneration investment in due course. In conclusion, though, I want to say that we have still, of course, a number of challenges ahead of us, and we need to be honest that in the current climate, delivering against our ambitions will be challenging. And that's why it's essential that we work together to see what are the best ways of maximising the investments that we're making. We know that the Essex report, I think, gives us a grounding in the issues that we need to take forward. We think there are opportunities for local authorities to show leadership through developing the strategic enabler role and joining up the delivery of housing and regeneration at cabinet level, to collaborate with other authorities to share learning and collaborate and experience, for example, in procurement, and to support RSLs and others to deliver on the ground. Part of the reason for agreeing, I think, to the Essex report was the argument put to the Assembly Government by CHC that regeneration activity could be expanded by the RSL sector if certain changes were made. It'll be no surprise that the Welsh Assembly Government, and I'm sure Jocelyn will have told you this, expects delivery against that ambition. And we think that how RSLs implement the delivery of that will be a key factor. I said it's a difficult climate, and we have a number of urgent activities to undertake. We still believe, because of the significant public and private investment that is going into the sector through the implementation of the Welsh Housing Quality Standard, there are real opportunities ahead of us in the next few years. And it may be, of course, that private sector organisations who have been stung during the credit crunch themselves see collaboration with partners such as local authorities, the Welsh Assembly Government or RSLs as a safer place to be in the future. We are holding a regeneration summit on the 23rd of October to look at some of these issues with a number of speakers from across the UK, including the UK Government's Architecture Czar, Sir Stuart Lipton. And I hope that we will see a good attendance there from local authorities and registered social landlords. My glamorous assistant, Pat Lewis, has copies of the brochure, which you can get from him over there after the session is over. We are in this for the long haul, and in a sense that's what the Regeneration Summit is there to indicate. We believe that links between housing and regeneration will endure well beyond the current problems we face. And what we've got to try and do now together is to identify what the opportunities are and ensure that we're all performing the best of our ability to realise them. Thank you.